2012, it's a Chrysler 200. I think it's got the big 3.6. Needs the right front lower ball joint. So I thought I'd bring you guys along, see how this process goes. Step one, remove the wheel. Days you get lucky. Step two, remove the axle nut. Make sure your axle moves. Step three, we're going to take the nut here off the ball joint. This ball joint's junk, so we're going full old school. Pickle fork, we don't care if the boot rips. That was an epic fail. Let me see if I got a fatter one. Round two. You been pickled. Slip that baby out. Boy, this looks like it's gonna be a tough one, man. This thing sits up inside the knuckle here. I don't know if I've ever done one of these. It's like the old Hondu's. Well, I'm sure we'll figure it out. If you got a jar of pickles and you're wondering how to get them out and you need a set of pickle forks, this is your Astro Tools 5-piece pickle fork kit. Your classic 78-807. Take our axle out. Not all the way, just out enough to set it to the side. Let's see if we can't just go like this. Well, let's have a look under there and see what we can do to swap out this ball joint. I've got the new one here. It's your classic TTX from Napa. Not a sponsor. Napa chassis stuff is junk. What's this here? Oh, it's a boot installation tool, perhaps. Interesting. See what that's all about. Of course, it comes with your snap rings and stuff. As you know, like I say, we've been having problems with the Napa Mevotech blue boot garbage, so we don't use that anymore. I use the TTX here when available. These things are wicked awesome. Yeah, so this is a boot install tool. Interesting. Good to know. So we'll take that boot off. I'll wipe some of that grease right there. I'm just going to stick it in the edge of the boot for right now. And then we've got to figure out how to get after it. I don't think getting it out is going to be an issue. It's the getting it in that might be a bit of a problem. So let me see what I can come up with here, folks. So the first challenge is we have to take this ball joint and we have to drive it down, which I think we can do with the air hammer, but you see it has a snap ring on it, and the opening for the snap ring is way on the inside here, which would require us to pull, pad rotors, caliper, and then also the dust shield, which in New York usually they dissolve or the bolts break off. I'm curious if we could just take the torch and just nick the snap ring and then just knock it off 2 pieces here and then drive the ball joint out and then see what we've got to deal with. That's going to be my approach. I'll try to do it with the camera in the way, but I might have to move you guys. Let's see here. Let's see, here we go. Wish me luck. Just want the snap ring. Oh, mega fail. Mega fail. I think we blasted it out of there. Let's get our light back so we can see. Get my head in here. I don't know. I don't think so. Let me crack the torch up here one more time. I had my flame a little low on it. let me do this again. There we go. I saw that disappear, so that's good. Now, let's see if we can't let's try tapping one side. You guys stand by. We may end up taking everything apart, I don't know. That kind of worked. Let's see, a little more difficult. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. Hang on. Let's see. Bingo, bingo. All right. I still need to get this whole thing out of there. Come on, little fella. Now let me get a pair of needle nose. Maybe I can just grab that and wiggle it around. There. Okay, so not really a snap ring, it's more like a clip that pops on. So that's out of the way. Let's just try using a long punch on an air hammer and just see if we can't drive it out, because that would be pretty awesome. Let me go get the dog. Got safety glasses and hearing protection on. It's about to get real. Oops. My shaft's just a little too long. Let me go get a shorter one. Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that, I'd be broke. Let's see. Here we go. It's hammer time. That's how a dog does it. SMA Special Edition. So the Honda Accords, they have a similar setup. And I've got an actual air hammer bit for those. It's an offset air hammer bit just for doing the Hondas. I think we're just gonna clean up the bottom here, give her a little hole polish, shine her up here. I'm gonna see if I got a cup that fits a ball joint, and instead of trying to get our press up in here, which I know won't fit, we're just gonna with the dog. The hole polisher. Woo, got a little water in the hose today, old son. Like turbo. It's the only line in the whole shop I didn't put a drip leg on. What was I thinking? Clean hole, clean lip. We're gonna get a little squeeze of grease out of the grease gun here. Get some up here. Don't need a ton. We're just gonna put a little bit in there. A little around that lip. Perfect. Let's hook up the old air hammer. We're gonna err on the side of lazy here. We're just gonna try to use a sock. Hopefully this doesn't bite me in the behind. Put on my earmuffs. Grab us a bit. I grabbed us I don't know, inch and 11/16. Inch and 11/16. Fits the lip perfect. Got the blue dot facing on the inside. Say what? So you have a dog does it right there, old son. That's good. We're in. Yippee skippy. Let's go get our grease we saved. Reapply it. Right up on the boss portion of it. Same way you grease an inner tie rod in case you didn't know. Just smear around the ball. Usually they come greased up around the ball. This one is greased quite well. So, all right, goody. I'm gonna put a little bit around. this little guy. Gonna take the hole, face it away from the rotor. Slide that baby up on there like so. We're gonna get the install tool, which it came with so generously. I tell you, the TTX, man, they usually come in clutch with this stuff. That's what it says to do, right? Need to get my light over here. Definitely don't want to ruin the boot. If we can avoid it. There it is. All the way around, is it? A little bit in the back. We got a tippy tab. Tippy. Let me make sure. All right. Looks good. You did good. Great. Now we don't know if he's going to take it to a car show, so we better take a little hanky here. Let's wipe our boot off in case he goes to the car show and puts the mirror under here. You know what I mean? You want it to look good. Perfect. Now that that bad boy's in there, let's open up our hardware packet. We've got a grease fitting and a snap ring and a clip. Let's see. So this one had, so it comes with both. It comes with your regular classic, snap ring, and then it comes with the same style lock ring that was in it. So that's what we're going to use. See if I can do this without, just by looking in the viewfinder here. Are we in the groove? Push. Come on, you mother lover. Not quite, dude. Not quite. Almost. Where is our little punch that we have? Here it is. Can we come in here with this? A little over the top action. What in the thunder is going on there? Oops. Sorry, fellas. Super difficult with the camera in the way. Probably bumping the mic a bunch of times. Oh, there she goes. I felt you. Pop felt you that time. Whoops. All right. Let me just make sure I'm not looking at a shadow on the other side here. Okay, no, it looks good. We're in all the way there, and then on the ends of both of the clips. So beautiful. I'm happy with that, if you're happy with that. Let's see, and then we need to see if we can fit our grease fitting in there. I'm going to take the cap off it. We've got enough room in here to get our fingers in here. Got it started, let me go get a wrench. We'll just leave it like that. We'll put the little cap on it. It's got plenty of grease in it for right now. And let me move you folks, because you guys are right in the optimal area. I'm surprised we were able to do this. We're going to put our axle in and put her back in, torque everything to factory specs. You guys were right here. That was my optimal viewing area. Like this. Go like that. Get that realigned. I don't want to ruin my boot, so I got to kind of get her in one swift motion here. So we're just going to hold down, push. There we go. We just wanted to realign that ball joint down, and hopefully, well, you guys will figure it out. You'll figure it out. We're going to push this tie rod back in. And there we go. Bingo, bango. There's that. We'll come and torque that to factory spec naturally. It's just hard to believe that these ball joints come from the same company that makes the really, really crappy ones. I know we mentioned it in another video, but boy, I tell you what, I'm done selling Napa chassis parts. Until they drop the Avoca line, that stuff is such garbage. It's freaking embarrassing. The old Napa chassis line, I don't remember who made their stuff then. Oh, that stuff was solid. But this blue booted Avoca stuff, absolute garbage. Do not waste your money on it, folks, if you're buying Avoca. The TTX from Avoca, great. The blue booted stuff, absolute trash. I mean, garbage. Safe to say they're not a sponsor. I'd be happy to talk to them about the crap they sell if they ever called. And I have no problem telling hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people that their product is absolute garbage, because it is. They should not be selling it. It should be illegal to sell it. But there's a lot of store brand stuff out there that's really crap too, but the fact that Napa sells it in their Napa chassis line, that's embarrassing. It's a disgrace. Some people are gonna get kind of offended by this part. You ready? The most controversial bend on the internet. It's how to bend your cotter pin. Split pin, whatever you wanna call it. And just to be sure we piss each and every one of them off, we're gonna do it for you. Zoomed in, super enhanced. We're gonna trim it there. Grab it with some side cutters. Give it a push up there. A little squish in. Extra tap on the bottom. Leave the comment how this guy's likely gonna die now. We'll make sure that there is no problem putting grease in this in the future. We'll give her a couple pumps. Yep, everything seems to be flowing good there. People will gripe about the cotter pin, the way you solder, the way you say the word solder, amongst many other things, but nobody will ever gripe about the mixture of the different soap bases and the different types of grease, like ever. And the thing is, that's actually something they could talk about that actually has some sort of value. You know, is the grease that you put in there miscible? You know, likely it's not, because I don't know if that's mineral based or synthetic based or whatever, but nobody ever says anything about it. So maybe if you're a chemist, you can clue me in. At least criticize me. There we are. Breaking out the old clicker. Let's show the wheel on it, and then it's just got to go over to Josh to get alignment done. Anytime we do any type of front end work, ball joints, tie rod, well, like tie rod ends and stuff are obvious, but struts, you know, something that doesn't have like an adjustment on it per se, we always check the alignment. You know, having this ball joint in there, if this sets this knuckle in or out just a little bit, that's going to change, you know, the toe end on it. And that's usually what we find changes also, you know, setting it in or out will change the camber. But even though we didn't touch anything that is an adjustment, we could have changed, you know, the geometry here on the steering. So we always double check that. It's usually close enough to drive to your local alignment shop. Ours is right next door. One bay over. Get this tightened up and then we're done. Well, that's it, folks. Putting the ball joint in your Chrysler 200, not your Hyundai. I was just talking to Miss O about another car. So not a bad job. I think as easy as the air hammer and stuff, push that out and then push it back in. I would imagine that you could do this with just normal tools on the ground, you know, hammer and a punch. The only dilemma might be it's getting that snap ring out. You might be able to reach in there with a Dremel tool, or worst case scenario, depending on where you live, you know, take the brakes off, take the caliper and the rotor and stuff off, take the dust shield off, and then they did put a slot in the front of that knuckle so you can see the other two ends of that clip and then, you know, push it off. Or if you live down south, just reach in there with, you know, an old flosser and click that thing off, I guess. But up here, we do what we got to do. Last thing I wanted to do was mess with the brakes and the backing plate to get in there. So I found it just as easy to take the torch and nick it. Air hammer wise, we had the dog. This is your 498K. This is a special limited edition from Astro. You can't buy it. There's only two in the whole world. I got one and another dude does. But you can get your classic 4980 long barrel, a little bit shorter than this, and then I used just your standard long bit. I don't know what that is, probably 10 inches maybe, something like that. And that's the number, that's an Astro bit also. Astro makes some really long ones too. I like to say Astro's got a big one. In my book they do, they make some nice tools. And then putting it in, you guys seen that we just used your everyday run-of-the-mill socket. Now I was gonna get a cup that fit the other ball joint perfectly, but this fit it quite well, you know, in my opinion. But that's that. Oh man, I got some brake clean on my muffs, melted them. Frick. Things happen. Surprised it hasn't happened before. Why don't you guys happen to go down in that comment section? Questions, comments, the Insta, the Facebook. You guys know where to find us. And just my viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.